Hi guys, concerning news again ahead of the next eruption that is probably going to happen within the next few hours, minutes, days. The experts are saying, the Icelandic Meteorological Office is saying they're quite sure that it will happen this week. And in light of this, we know that the residents and the businesses and the workers of Grindavik are allowed to be back in town 24/7. As the workers union has named it, they said they just opened the floodgates wide open so that everyone can get back in. The workers union is not happy with this because they say some of the workers are very scared. They don't want to be in town in light of the next eruption that always comes with an earthquake swarm. But the Icelandic MET Office has also announced the warning time will be very short this time because there's so many existing tunnels, so the magma can flow more undetected and not create so much rumbling. But what is most concerning to me, guys, and that is basically part of the soap opera that has been going on, the evacuation soap opera that is happening at the Blue Lagoon, and now this time again in Grindavik because people are back in town. And it seems now that I'm not the only one who's worried about that. We have seen at the last eruptions, yes, they do have sirens at the Blue Lagoon, but we have seen in a video of a YouTuber who resided at the hotel at the Blue Lagoon, the sirens took off at 6 a.m. and the eruption started at 6 a.m. So when they left the Blue Lagoon, finally the eruption was already in full force, and we know that lava did flow so fast. Within a few hours it was crossing and blocking the main evacuation road, Grindavik. So now they started hurrying up and building another detour so that they could get the tourists to the Blue Lagoon. But this time evacuation will probably be a little bit more difficult because that's a different kind of road. It's not like this main big paved road. So what are the experts saying? And really, guys, you have to listen to this because it says a lot. So the director of communications for the civil protection, his name is Hjördis Gudmundsdottir. He says that they are very worried if there is an eruption within the next few days. And why are they so worried? Yes, because of the short evacuation time. They are saying, or he is saying in this case, that it will be difficult to evacuate the places Blue Lagoon, hotels at the Blue Lagoon, and Grindavik, as the warning can be so short and no one can say exactly where the eruption will occur. So you can plan your evacuation routes as you please, but the eruption will not listen to them. So if it erupts right underneath your evacuation road or inside the town, which they said yesterday, it is possible that we will see an eruption inside the town as well. Because remember, on November 10th, the magma intrusion that came from the magma chamber underneath the Swartsengi area where the power plant and the Blue Lagoon is located caused a 15-kilometer long magma intrusion. So the magma did remain underground, but it was flowing to the north and to the south and creating that dike that was going underneath Grindavik and into the sea. So they're expecting an eruption along that dike. I mean, hopefully it will never erupt full length, but it can basically be anywhere along that dike or even next to that dike, as we have seen in January when it was erupting at the doorsteps of Grindavik and even inside the defense wall that they had built around Grindavik, and then right at the edge of Grindavik, flowing inside Grindavik and destroying 3 homes. So it can be predicted somewhat, the area, but not exactly where. So that makes it also difficult. And the past 3 eruptions, all of them have happened in the middle of the night in darkness, which makes it more difficult as well, because we know through the earthquakes that come before the eruptions, roads have been damaged, cracks have opened, and even like height differences in the road. So if it's dark at night, you're under stress, you have to evacuate, you want to drive out there, it is dangerous, because they have told the residents and the businesses when they did let them back in, you're on your own, you're in the town, at your own risk. I don't know what they have told the guests in the Blue Lagoon, but basically it is kind of the same. I haven't heard reports yet that they have waivers that the tourists have to sign. They're saying on their website, yeah, you have to be aware you're in an area that has earthquakes. Yeah, and just a tiny little magma chamber underneath that is causing intrusions and eruptions all the time. So we will have to see, but that's, for me, is concerning. And guys, I am not in favor of opening the Blue Lagoon and having it open and have tourists stay overnight. So why can't they close it down? Why do we have to wait until there's another in the middle of the night evacuation for the tourists? But you know what? I think every tourist should be aware of this by now. And if they're still going there, then they're probably searching for that risk. So whatever, right? Enjoy. I really don't know how else to comment that. And the other thing is there's another road, and they are not sure that they can save that road from lava, and that is Reykjanesbrauð. So the entity that is responsible for road maintenance and road planning, they're looking into the possibility using other parts of the road network on the Reykjanes Peninsula to keep the road to the Krysuvik airport open, because Reykjanesbrauð is also one of the major routes that connects the airport with Reykjavik. So it at least they are thinking about other ways that they could go should another main road be damaged by lava flow, should it not be possible to protect that road from lava flow. So there has been a great deal of road under lava already, like Grindavik. It has been flown over by lava in the January eruption, right at the entrance of Grindavik, so to speak. So the exit way out of Grindavik has basically been blocked by the lava. And then further north, the same road has been flown over by lava again in the February eruption. Plus, in both times, the lava did flow over critical infrastructure as well. The heat pipes, the hot water pipes that did lead into Grindavik, and in the February eruption, it did flow over the hot water pipes that are serving like the southern peninsula of the Reykjanes Peninsula. So it seems they are starting to take things a little bit more serious, but obviously not regarding the Blue Lagoon, whatever, right? That brings money, that's tourists. They're not touching that one. I think Iceland needs to prepare to spend a lot of money in the near future for protection dikes, to redo some of their infrastructure to protect it from lava flow, because we have seen in the last eruption when the hot water pipe was flown over and like Krysuvik airport did not have hot water, and some other subdivisions in the area, the hot water supplies the heat for the homes, and it's winter time. So homes without heat, and when it's very, very cold, that's a problem. And the electric grid that they have is not made for using electric heaters to a certain extent, or if everyone uses electric heaters, they're charging their electric cars, they had power outages, so that would completely overload the grid. So they have to protect their infrastructure. And experts have said, we have some systems, the Krysuvik volcanic system and the Brennisteinsfjall volcanic system, there have been lava flows towards the outskirts of Reykjavik in the very past. So they're saying we also need to consider doing something to protect some areas of Reykjavik and of course the other power plants, because had this lava that we have seen in February flown into the Swartsengi area and destroyed the power plant, that would have been a big problem, because that power plant does not only serve the town of Grindavik, it serves other areas as well. So they definitely need to spend a lot of money. And I just read today that they will increase their aid to Ukraine. And I'm really wondering, how are they going to pull this off? Because it's a small country with a little less than 400,000 people. And now they want to buy out the homes of the residents of Grindavik. And the natural disaster insurance doesn't have the money to pull this off by themselves. And, you know, of course, they're hoping that the reinsurers are paying something. But, you know, it could cost them a lot of money, because that disaster is not over yet in Grindavik. It's very expensive to build these defense walls. The wall in Swartsengi wasn't that expensive because the lava rock material was already in place. So they just needed to push it to create that berm. But for Grindavik, they needed to truck it there. So that adds to the cost. And then running all these big, heavy machines and then repairing it all the time. I mean, it's like in Grindavik, they already, after each earthquake, swarm, and eruption, they started repairing like torn pipes, because there's so many cracks that open and have torn heating pipes, cold water pipes, electric pipes. So they were repairing this. They started filling cracks. Then the next earthquake, swarms occurred, and the next eruption, and they had to do it all over again. So it's costing a lot of money. And we know the Reykjanes Peninsula has been dormant for 800 years. It has woken up now. So there could be way more trouble, way more rumbling, more eruptions, and it could go on for decades or centuries. Some geologists and seismologists have said it could last 300 years. I mean, one geologist, I think he's optimistic. He said, well, until it's getting quiet again in Grindavik, that could last 10 years. So the businesses don't even have a deal with the government that they can be bought out. I mean, now they have opened back the town. Maybe they're keeping businesses quiet for now because they're saying you can go back there, do your operations. But how long will this last if we see another eruption close to town or in the town? If there's a bigger earthquake swarm again that does more damage to the town? They have restored the cold water in the port area. They're hoping to restore cold water in other areas of Grindavik, but you know, when they opened it back up for the residents, they said it's not really livable. If you don't have cold water, you can't flush your toilets, nothing. And the heating system was very, very fragile, and they're hoping that they could put full pressure in the pipes, but it is fragile. And as I said, since the next eruption is imminent, who knows what the earthquakes or the eruption might do to that infrastructure again, and then they have to start from scratch. So I think they should really watch their resources, and there have elections in the near future, and the estimate is that this government will not remain in power, but you know, you never know. But I think they have to focus on their own people and their own country and help them first, because this is a dire situation. This is not comparable with a normal natural disaster that they're facing. They're usually like one eruption done and then quiet for decades or whatever, or an avalanche. It happens and then, you know, you can rebuild, restore, and hopefully you won't see another one for a few years or even decades. But what's happening there right now, the scientists know so little about what is going on underneath. But you already know that there are so many existing fissures that have been there for a long time underneath Grindavik on the Reykjanes Peninsula. So there are signs that this area has been active. And the North Atlantic Ridge is going right through the Reykjanes Peninsula, where two tectonic plates are separating from each other, basically tearing the land apart. So it is not a good situation, in my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think. And since we're in the middle of the video, guys, can you do me a favor? Leave this video a like and share it to your friends. And of course, watch it till the end to push it a little bit out to the world. And of course, if you like this video, it would be awesome if you could subscribe and click the notification bell so that I can notify you when the next eruption is happening. And that can be any minute right now. So thanks for that. And now let's finish with our video today about Grindavik and the Reykjanes Peninsula. So what else are they doing to support the residents of Grindavik? So there's going to be a meeting on Monday at 5 p.m. The Public Safety Department and the National Police are holding an information meeting for the residents of Grindavik. And they made this announcement on their websites, and they are saying that the aim of the meeting is to inform the residents of Grindavik about the current state of the land rise that is happening and a current update of the infrastructure in and around Grindavik. And they are stating that the situation is not good and that it is important for the residents that they receive the correct information, not only like by being informed in writing and words, but they also need to have pictures of it, that they're really aware what is the situation. So also they're working around the clock to try to secure hot water pipes in areas where they are thinking that another lava flow might happen. But they are not sure that they will be able to defend these hot water pipes. So that's why the civil defense has bought more electric heaters, and they have transported materials to Swartsengi so that work could be done quickly if there's a damage to the infrastructure again due to lava flow. So the civil defense has bought these electric heaters so that they could provide residents who do not have one in the event that there's no hot water again. But you know, I don't know the electric grid last time with the electric heaters that were there like a few weeks ago did break down in certain areas already from those electric heaters. And they were kind of saying, do not use more. If they're now using more, I don't know if that will be a good idea or not, but I don't know. I mean, their protective measures and their proactive measures to protect infrastructure right now are only based on where they think magma could emerge and where it might flow. And they are really stating that the problem with all these eruptions and the natural disasters is that it is difficult to tell where the damage will occur or where the magma will come up and where it will flow. There are some flow models, but you know, it did catch them by surprise. When we saw the eruption that was at the doorstep of Grindavik, it caught them by surprise that there was a second eruption happening, a second fissure opening that destroyed the 3 homes. And they were really surprised at the last eruption, how quickly that magma was flowing and how much way it made in such a short period of time, like 4.5 kilometers already in day 1, destroying the road and the pipes. So they are trying to prepare, but I don't think too much can be done because not much time has passed between the last eruption and the threat situation right now. Actually, the time frame between the eruptions is getting shorter. So we're definitely below 4 weeks when you look at the last events. So really not much time, and we will have to see how this turns out and how this will look. Guys, let me know, should they close down the Blue Lagoon right now and don't let tourists back in? Should they have it open only during daylight? What about Grindavik? Should they be precautious and evacuate again? What is your opinion? Do you think residents and businesses would tolerate that? Or do you think they would refile their lawsuits right away? It is a very difficult situation, and I don't know the answer to that. What's the right decision? I would use common sense, and I would really urge everyone to stay away. Stay away until the eruption has happened, until everyone knows where it erupts, where the lava's flowing to, how big it is, what is happening with the land rise. Is it rising right away again? So better be safe than sorry. That is my opinion, guys. And of course, I'll keep you updated, and check out my channel, check out the other videos. There's other stuff as well, and I'll put 2 videos in the end screen. And until then, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your ongoing support on my buymeacoffee.com website. The link is in the description if you want to look that up. I'll post maps and photos there, and if you subscribe, I'll send you notifications if the eruption is happening. That's totally for free. It's just another way to stay connected and give you a little bit of an additional information beyond what I'm doing here on YouTube. And thank you for your supers that you keep sending here on YouTube. You guys are absolutely awesome. And thank you so much, and I hope to see you very, very soon. And then I think Rudi will be in the next one again. So thanks for that, guys. Bye-bye.